We've got just a couple minutes. There are some members in the audience, I believe.
Question.
I'm sorry.
I would recommend, Mr. Chairman, you don't let the director leave, and
Right.
so we can hit his item on
Howard?
consent as well.
There is one item I want to try and take up before lunch, so don't run away, just be in the audience. To Supervisor Smith.
Yes, I had another item I'd like to take up before lunch. It was related, and I didn't get a chance to mention it. It was related to some degree, to our previous housing issue. And I believe we have members from RCHDC here to address the
That's correct.
redevelopment item number 1. So if we could take that up before
Yes.
lunch, that would be much appreciated.
That is the item that I was going to move to next, so I believe you pulled that item, is that correct?
Correct.
So please,
Go ahead.
yes.
Okay. So we have one item on the consent calendar with the board acting as the head of the redevelopment agency. This is a change of terms and loan, and I think it's good so the public is aware of, instead of just passing it through on consent, what the components of this are. So if there are any members of the public that want to comment, I don't know if there are or not. But this is, my understanding, is a change of terms in the loan. The housing is still going forward, but the concerns I wanted addressed were the changes in the loan, switch the housing construction, still at 30 units. Previously, it was 24 low-income households and 6 very low-income households, to 30 units of moderate-income housing. So I think it's a good opportunity to have a brief discussion on the levels of affordability and what RCHDC and any of its associated partners might be doing with respect to that issue.
Okay. Steve, would you like to come forward and take us through the action item before us?
Yes. So once again, we do have some members of RCHDC here who I'd actually like to invite forward, whoever's going to speak, to sort of give the most accurate interpretation. But what this item comes down to is the redevelopment law. It requires the incomes to be calculated, adding on some different items that are not required for some of the categories of low and lower income housing from the loan, the USDA, and Mary Jane Figaldi, Development Director of RCHDC, can sort of take you through the intricacies.
Thank
Good
you.
morning, Board. Thank you for allowing us to be heard before lunch. There's been, first of all, I want to reiterate that it's for moderate and below, and it is all affordable housing at 120% or less. The USDA terms of their loan are for low housing at 80% area median income or less. The difference is with redevelopment law, it requires that for the housing costs, all things are considered insurance, taxes, and maintenance. So therefore, based on the ratios that redevelopment law allows as a percentage of the income, a very low-income family would only qualify for a home loan of about $29,000, and a low-income family would qualify for $74,000. In order to get these houses built, it's going to require that the USDA fund anywhere from $150,000 to $205,000, and then we'll be filling the gap with other sources of funding, including this redevelopment money. So a very low-income family, it's kind of convoluted, but a very low-income family, based on USDA, they only look at the cost of the mortgage loan. They don't look at all the other things that redevelopment puts in there. So actually it'll be very low-income low-income families that'll be occupying these, because that's a requirement of our lender, USDA. But under redevelopment law, that classification drops below, so we have to classify everybody that's going in here as moderate, because we're looking at their expenses differently for USDA than we are for redevelopment law, is basically the difference. So it's still all affordable housing, or at least these 30 units are, and our intention is to make all the units affordable. And that's at moderate, which is 120% or less. However, USDA requires all the loans that go through them be at 80% AMI or less. So, but the way they figure out the loan payment is different than the way redevelopment law figures it out. So that's
Okay.
why we're asking for the change. We didn't notice that until we started putting the deals together.
Okay, one technicality, your name for the record, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Jane Fagaldi, Development Director.
Thank you. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you. I guess it's just an opportunity for, in addition to the clarification, because our agenda summary states, this change will result in 30 units of moderate income housing developed instead of the more difficult to achieve low and lower income units that were originally targeted. So I guess that made me think and look for the opportunity to ask you, what then is RCHDC's strategy for the achievement of these low and lower income units? Because if this is a funding challenge, I mean, we looked at the issue that CDC had that was just before us that has some similar, I think, influences vis-a-vis the housing market that were addressed, and how they've actually needed to scale back the size of some of those units to address the affordability and the gap between the loan package and what they're able to achieve on the market. So, again, then, to you, how are you going to get to this low and lower income level if you're constantly challenged by these funding parameters?
Well, one of the ways we're going to be looking at is, as you say, looking at building a different style house, perhaps more townhouses where the costs of construction are less. The good news is with everything that's gone on, the cost of land has become less. However, the cost of the development of that land hasn't depreciated significantly. But so we're seeing some drop in the cost of land that we're getting for affordable projects. And then we're looking at other ways to either make smaller houses or make townhouse style where inefficiency of construction allows for a lesser unit on those so that we can target the very low. Again, like I said, low basically is being met, but it's difficult to put together all with the cost of land in Mendocino County in particular, and particularly in the Ukiah Valley area. It makes it extremely difficult for home ownership. We are, in our multifamily housing, we do target very low and low income in rental for seniors and for multiple families.
I just wanted to make sure that the whole compendium of affordability was being addressed and that it wasn't
And
falling
we're
off the
looking at
radar
those
screen.
challenges, and we
Okay.
appreciate that.
Good, thank you.
I have a question. Maybe I'm not seeing it. The exact location of this subdivision is,
This is Lakewood Homes 1 and 2 on Lake Mendocino Drive.
okay.
The final map that you just approved today as well.
Yeah, okay. Okay, other questions of staff from the board? What is the pleasure of the board then?
So moved.
There is a motion before us. Do I hear a second for approval?
Second,
Okay, Supervisor Colfax?
to the chair, do we have public comment? I don't know if we do.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to public comment. Is there any other comments out there from the public in regards to this item? I see the director is sitting